So do you ever wonder, I'm sure you must have, how much is that information that you keep jamming into social media and all these other large companies about yourself, that they're making huge money? How much is it really worth, that data? Well, in a bipartisan effort, believe it or not, senators both sides of the aisle introducing legislation today that will require Facebook, Google, Amazon, and other platforms to disclose not only what they know about you, but also how much money they're making off your information. Joining me now to discuss Fox Business Network's Deirdre Bolton and IWF Senior Policy Analyst Patrice Leonwuka. Let me start with you with the background on this, because this is, again, I think another effort by Josh Hawley and others, right?
It certainly is. And if you want to know what our data is worth, Charles, most analysts say it's about $5 per month per user. Now, there are other analysts who say, oh, no, that's way too low.
Way too low.
But that is at least $1 amount that we can consider. So this Dashboard Act, and it's a very long acronym for a somewhat heavier title, this applies to companies that have more than 100 million users. So you read off the list. It's Facebook, Google, Twitter, Amazon. I actually reached out to all of them. All of them said no comment, with the exception of one, which was Facebook. We look forward to continuing our ongoing conversations with the bill's sponsors. But the idea is how user data is collected, disclose what data is collected, disclose how the data is used for profit, provide users with a value of the data, and allow users to delete easily, underline that word, the data that's collected, meaning you would get a report every 90 days with what they have used about you and your inputs to sell ads.
Of course, Patrice, this would be all information that we're voluntarily giving them anyway. Just to put it in perspective, Facebook has a market cap of almost $600 billion, Google $800 billion, Amazon almost $1 trillion. So, you know, when the American public hears that and they say, golly, they're making this money off of me, I want a piece of the action. Do you think this is a step toward some sort of legislation that makes them share the profits?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the idea behind this is to make users pause before they just blindly accept all of the rules and requirements, and if they log on to a new website or download a new app. But frankly, I think most consumers understand very much the value that they're creating or that they're using from these apps. And so, you know, it's interesting. There's some economists asked how users, you know, what it would cost for them to stop using something like Facebook, and it would cost $1,000 a year for someone to stop using Facebook, even, you know, $17,000 for them to stop using Google or a search engine.
What does that mean? Like in psychiatry costs? I mean,
well, it's how we value these companies and the goods and services that they provide.
Wow.
I mean, I think this idea that, you know, you're going to, by being empowered with all of this new information, suddenly how you use social media will change, or even big tech companies will change. I don't think so, because I think we intrinsically we understand the trade-offs we're making, and we value what they have to offer us.
What do you think, Deirdre?
Well, I think that in New York City, as we know, every time you order a cheeseburger, cheese fries, and a shake, you have all that information. It still means you're going to order it, which more or less backs up Patrice's point. I mean, they want these congresspeople want us to have the information. I'm not sure it's going to change behavior.
But what about some of the searches that people do, or some of the other things that, you know, that, I mean, we put, as Americans, almost everything about ourselves online.
I find people complain a lot.
Yeah.
And they still are willing to give up some of their privacy for convenience. That is the trade that most modern participants in this economy have done.
Well, and to add to that, Deirdre, I think people appreciate customization. And part of what makes it great when we can log onto an app and they understand exactly what we need and what we want to see in our feeds is because there's so much information that we voluntarily give up so that we can get the user experience we really want to have.
I think this is more about the government pressuring big tech.
Why, though?
Well, because of the Cambridge, I mean, just look at Facebook, right? In the past 2 years, what have we been discussing most? Basically, their huge gaffes about our data and security of data.
But what's going to come out of it, though? I mean, will there be some penalties?
I think for them, just putting them on their heels a little bit, yeah.
More regulations?
Yeah.
All right, Patrice, more regulations. You okay with that? 30 seconds.
No, it's always concerning when you hear government is here to solve our problems, and especially when it comes to innovation that has flourished and developed and delivered so much goods for us without a heavy regulatory environment.
And ladies, neither one of you mentioned the main reason we love them. They're free.
Well,
at least we think they are.
Some would say maybe not.
When we're putting in our data, like they are using us, right?
All right, Deirdre, Patrice, thank you both very, very much.